Working together to make Leon County safer. All in. All in. Woo!
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Leon County Sheriff's Office podcast. Today we are joined by a familiar voice and probably a familiar face to some of you. He may be known as Sergeant Edwards. To others, he may be known as Shawn. Do you have any other nicknames?
Shawn, Biggie. That's about it.
That's about it? Okay. Well, welcome. Today we are blessed to have Sergeant Shawn Edwards. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So I like to start with knowing a little bit about the person. So who are you? Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
Okay. Grew up here in Tallahassee, Florida. Stayed here all my life. Left right after high school. Interesting fact, though, I actually left halfway through my senior year of high school, and I went to the Marine Corps. People ask how that happened. Well, I had enough credits to graduate, only need electives. So the Marine Corps recruiter talked to the guidance counselor, and they came up with a plan, ended up giving me credit for physical education. I went to boot camp, graduated boot camp, came back, walked across the stage, got my diploma, went right back to the Marine Corps. And I did,
oh, wow.
Yep, I did that in January 1992.
So in the middle of your high school year, you left, and then you did the Marine.
Yes.
Then you came back for graduation.
Came back for graduation in May.
How did that mature you, you know?
Well, one, it did what it was supposed to do, because actually the reason I came in contact with the Marine Corps recruiter is I was getting ready to skip school. And he caught me, and we started talking. And I was always a smart kid. You know, I didn't necessarily do everything I was supposed to do, but I was always smart. And so he told me to come by and take the ASVAB. I stopped by that afternoon, kept my word, took the ASVAB, and I scored so high. And he was like, "Hey, we can't let this guy get away." So I needed that discipline. And so when I went to the Marine Corps, it's like it was a shock. Like, you know, nobody saved you. You know, back here I had my grandfather to save me and stuff like that when I got into trouble. But there you're in trouble, you're on your own, you know. You're going to get learned, as the old folks say. They will learn you. So it really matured me there because, you know, I was there. I was pretty much still a kid. I'm 18 years old. Yeah. But, you know, I had to grow up really, really fast because I was out there for the first time without a safety net.
That's amazing. And then how long did you do that?
Did that for 10 years and 1 month.
Wow. Do you miss it?
Actually, I do. I'll be honest. I do. I miss the structure. I miss the people that you meet. You come into contact with so many different type of people from different backgrounds, people you would never have come in contact with if you stayed in one place. Yeah. I miss the strictness of it, believe it or not. You know, it's kind of like, you know, people going to keep their word. The leadership of it, you know, you have those true leaders that you know, they do lead by the top down, you know, and you're held to a standard. I was always held to a standard. You know, it's like now I'm a sergeant, and in the Marine Corps of all places is very, very different. You're looking at, when you compare those things, you know, sergeant, like if you're a platoon sergeant, it's 24/7. It's not like, okay, my shift is over, I go home. No, it's 24/7. Many times I've come in on Monday morning and got yelled at because a troop has bounced a check over the weekend. So it instills that in you that, you know, you have to lead. You have to lead by example. You have to be right in order to lead. Your troops should want to be like you. And so those are the type of things that stayed with me, and I carry it to this day.
And so it wasn't just having like order when it comes to discipline, but even outside of the normal, what we would call like work hours, you were responsible for making sure that the people in your platoon was in good like shape, mental health, physical health.
Mental health, you always check on them. There were things that you would have to know. I've been in inspections and inspecting my platoon, and, you know, a lieutenant colonel turns around and says, "Hey, what's the last four of his social security number?" Things like that, that people out here, you like, how would you know that? Yeah. And there, that's run the mill. That's an average Tuesday.
Why do you think some of those things are in place?
They're in place to instill in you that you're responsible for a person, to be responsible to say, it's one thing to say, I'm responsible for this person or I'm in charge of this person, but to actually know what that really means. You're responsible for a life. This is, you're responsible. Someone has sent their son, their daughter there, and you're in charge of them. They sent a healthy daughter, a healthy son, and they want a healthy daughter, a healthy son returned. And they do not want to lose them, and you're truly in charge. Not just because we're walking around in peacetime. That's easy. What if you're going to war? You're in charge of that person, and you get that loyalty. And if a person truly believes in you, it's not a problem leading them. And they will, they're going to listen. They're going to learn from you, and that's something that may save their life.
On the trajectory of you being in multiple positions and holding certain titles, is it similar to on the law enforcement side where you are chosen based off of how you perform possibly? Or what is it like, I guess, in the Marines? Because, you were a fire team leader, martial arts instructor, squad leader, platoon sergeant. How did you earn those positions?
Those positions, like based off of a rank, it's different, I would say, because you truly have to perform. You can't just put on a show. So I would say it would be different, say here and being definitely in the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps is
more physical.
It's the strictest. One, you have to, everything that you do down to physical fitness, your knowledge and things, so forth, they go into a score. And you have a certain score you have to make a certain rank. And once you make that rank, you have that cutting score and you're promoted. The thing about it is you have to be sent to a school. You're sent off to a school 6 weeks. And you pack up, you go to that school for 6 weeks and they teach you how to be that rank. Then you come back and apply what you have learned. And also it goes off of seniority. Seniority means something. It's one thing to say you're a sergeant, but when you have everybody else's a lower rank. But if you're in a room and it's 10 sergeants, somebody is in charge, and it goes off seniority.
Got it.
So when they choose for like platoon sergeants and stuff like that, they don't go off seniority, but you will have to perform because unlike in other jobs or the civilian world, the Marine Corps has no problem when they promote you. They have no problem demoting you as well. So if you do not perform, you will be demoted, and they will place someone else in charge that can do the job. They're not going to hide you. They're not going to allow you to keep going on. They need those people who can lead.
That's nice. And so that was for 10 years of your career, right? Yes. So what was next?
Well, when I got out, you lose your identity. You come out and you reach a certain position, and depending on where you're at, how big your platoons, the biggest platoon I ever had was 84. So that's 84 people that you see every morning for formation. You're standing in front of, they're looking at you. They don't talk unless you say talk. They don't eat unless you say that. That's permission for everything. So you leave, all that's gone. You get here, you lose your identity. And you get here and you try to achieve it. And you get told it's paramilitary, but I didn't get that. I was like, this is lacking a little bit, but you have to make it. It's on you to make it what it's supposed to be as well. So I sat out a year, and then I came over in 2003. I got out in February 1st, 2002. And then I came here in May 16th, 2003 as a correctional officer. Back then, they were sponsoring. So, sponsored me through the corrections. I did 3 years at the jail. I did housing and medical security at the jail. And I went ahead, and there was an opening over here, and I transferred over, came over here in 2006. And so when I got over here, I was like, hey, because I always wanted to do this. I was glad I started over at the detention facility, but I knew I always wanted to be on the law enforcement side. And I got to the law enforcement side, and, I did uniform patrol for about 5 years. Left there, went to school resource, came back to uniform patrol, left uniform patrol, went to, where did I go from there? I came to uniform patrol, I went to warrants. did warrants. Then I went to criminal investigations.
You was SRD at one point?
Yes, it was. I was a school resource. I did that for about 3.5 years. And then came back, uniform patrol, and I went to warrants. From warrants, I went to criminal investigations. From investigations, I came back to patrol as a field training officer. And from there, I became the agency recruiter. And then now...
Because at that point, you moved around, you know, pretty much what's going on in this area, that area. Was it a hard adjustment, or did you... I feel like going into the detention facility, does it kind of remind you of still being able to govern a group of multiple people? So it wasn't like you were afraid, like, oh, these were inmates, and how am I going to be a good supervisor or a manager? Like, did any of those things cross your mind?
It did, because when I first came in, it was kind of funny because I started in the jail, but you got to think, in the jail, you learn quickly. I knew how to manage, but I was so used to one word and it happens. You know, if I say do this, you do that. It wasn't any, pushback or anything like that. And I had to get over that hump to understand that, no, these are not troops. These are people, they're inmates and stuff like that. They're angry, stuff like that. So, but I was able to adjust, because you have to adjust. I had dealt with so many different personalities till it helped me when I got in there. And just being able to learn how to talk. You have to... Military talking to someone is way different than on the civilian side. You get to civilian side, these are two different worlds. Even today, people say, hey, you're being aggressive. I'm not being aggressive, I'm just talking to you. It just appears that I'm being aggressive because it's your demeanor, your stance, or whatever, So I had to get over that hump. Okay. But I adjusted rather quickly, certain things. I know rules. I know these are the rules. This is what's going to happen. I'm not going to back off of these. So this is what we're going to do. Also, I'm not going to do anyone wrong. So I had that happy medium. So I didn't have the problems that other correctional officers or whatever had. And then when I got over here on the law enforcement side, I could utilize not only what I had what I learned in the military, I could utilize what I learned over the detention facility, as far as like talking, and because that's your best weapon ever is your mouth. And so it just all came together. And when I moved around, I'm happy for that because I think it made me an overall better deputy, because I'm able to have knowledge of other units. And so I know certain things, when to do certain things, how certain things go, what needs to be in a report, stuff like that. So I think it just, it made me all out better deputy overall.
How many years have you been at the sheriff's office?
23
plus?
Years. 23. Yes, yep. 23 years.
I figured 2003, to now. And so your experience here at the sheriff's office, multiple different positions, climbing the ranks because when you started, you still had to start as a deputy and then move up to a sergeant, and becoming the recruiter for the sheriff's office was, would you say like that was a eventful time for you? Was it a lot of pressure?
It was, because it was the first time we actually had a full-time recruiter and a full-time law enforcement recruiter. So history. So it's like, I like that because it's kind of like I was on the ground floor. I saw it start, and we had nothing to say. This is, you had to come in and start your own blueprint. And I leaned on a lot of other agencies throughout the state of Florida that were successful, and they helped me. That's one thing in the recruiting world. If you ask for help, another agency or recruiter will help you. I don't know if it's a code or something. It just can help you when you're starting something. So I could say, not many people say, hey, I started this. Some people say, hey, I started this unit or whatever. I could say I was on the ground floor of the recruiting unit, and you have to go out there and get it. It was like you're the agency recruiter. Okay, go get us some people. So now I'm like, okay, what do I do? How do I do this? So once I started, I had to crawl, and I crawled, and, you started, and then all of a sudden it just took off. And I found out, this is the thing that's kind of funny, because in the Marine Corps, they tried to make me a recruiter. I was like, no, I fought it tooth and nail, and because I just didn't want to do it.
Because you wanted to be out doing the physical work and
Yeah, I'm the drill instructor. I'm not the recruiter.
Yeah.
So I hated that. And what happened was I never did it. Probably would have did wonders for my career if I'd have took the recruiting route, but I didn't take that route. And so I get here and I end up being a recruiter and I found out I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had a blast.
Yeah. A testament to your personality, right?
Well, yeah.
You got to be able to talk to people and like you said, you got to know the facts, the information, what's happening at the sheriff's office, how is it beneficial? What would you say some of your memorable moments have been while you have been at the sheriff's office?
Memorable moments at the sheriff's office. I would say the people I meet, and it could be in a bad situation. For one instance, I remember when I was a school resource, and it's a thing. I was on light duty, and I came up to the school. Wasn't supposed to even be up there. I happened to be up there at the school, and I remember I had a knee brace on. And a lady came, it was like way after school hours, and a lady came up there because they knew that a school resource deputy is at that school. So she came up there, and I just happened to be there, and she was around the corner, said that her baby was at this daycare, and she was over there, she said her baby was choking. And it's like a baby's choking, so, of course I jump in the car, and I'm going around the corner, I get there, and they have the baby's limp. So I get the baby now. Of course, I'm doing back thrust or whatever and everything because they said the baby had some candy, and the baby got choked, and then they ended up stopped breathing. So did that. Baby started crying, this and that. So, and years later, that lady would see me, and she was like, "That deputy saved my baby."
Wow.
So stuff like that is always memorable. So I always say, you have certain things that happen, and sometimes they're teachable moments. You think you're being the RoboCop, but you find out, well, that was kind of stupid. That wasn't safe. But I say the people that I've come in contact with, because truly, people will remember the interaction they had with you, whether it's good or bad. And I've been lucky to say in the 23 years I've been here that I've had 1,000 times more good interactions with people than bad. You're gonna have a couple bad ones. It is what it is. It's, it's the job we have. But I've had good interactions where people remember me. I've had kids that will remember me from school resource, and they were little kids, and I'd be walking in the mall, man, these kids are full grown and they remember me. So parents remember me. So that's why I say the memorable moments for me. That's what I cherish.
And then what about with the Marine Corps?
With the Marine Corps, once again, the people I meet, fun times. We had some fun times. Some I can't even say on this podcast. It just is what it is. But
and you really become, just like in the police work, but in the Marines, I hear like what you were just saying about knowing somebody's socials. It's like from the start, you are becoming family. Yeah, from that. So are you still connected to a lot of them?
I still have some. We have like little Facebook groups and stuff like that. And you go to different places, and like the people you meet, and you say, okay, it's so big, and the world is so big, you never see them again. One place you're gonna see somebody again is in Okinawa, Japan. If you go to Okinawa, Japan, it's like kind of everybody has to go through Okinawa, Japan, so you're gonna see them. Yeah. Somebody be like, man, I was in boot camp with this person. Hey, we was in this unit together, and stuff like that. Wow. So, but I will say I could say this, something I could always say that not a lot of people can say. It's the Marine Corps. It is what it is. Everybody know what the Marine Corps represents. And it's that branch that not anybody can just get into the Marine Corps. And I can always say I did that and did the cool stuff in the Marine Corps. So, a lot of people look at stuff about, what about this? What about that? I've been to the Super Bowl. So now a lot of things impress me that much, nothing will never reach that. Because, I can say, hey, I go home, I got my dress blues hanging up, this and that. You watch, it's a lot of, I was able to do a lot of things in the Marine Corps and experience a lot of things. And not a lot of people will ever experience. I'm a little boy from Southside, and I've been all over the world. Some people haven't been out of the tri-state area. You know, so I can say, you know, I'm good. You know.
Yeah, you've seen things and experienced them and lived a good life still living.
Yes, I am. Yeah, every day my feet hit the ground and my eyes open up, it's a good day for me.
Yeah, but then, I mean, outside of that, you are a parent.
Yes, I am a parent. I have 2 kids. I have a 21-year-old daughter who will be 22 in August, and I have a 15-year-old son who will be 16 years old in September.
What has the kids taught you that the Marine Corps or being a deputy or sergeant couldn't teach you?
Extreme patience. I say extreme patience. Extreme, because I actually see in my kids, you know how when you're young and, you know, the old folks say, hey, gonna see this again when you have some kids. I see little things with my kids, and I have wonderful kids. I have to say this. I don't have those problems that other people would come in and say they have. I mean, the problems I have are like, if you look at them, you know, the amount of people pay for the problems I got.
Yeah,
you know,
tuck the corner sheet in the bed.
You know, stuff like that. You know, I get mad at my son for not turning the TV off when he go to school. You know, stuff like that. You know, but you know, hey, he plays. I want to say is it 7 or 8 instruments.
Wow.
He plays though. I mean, my daughter's an ambassador at Florida State. She'll be graduating in December at Florida State, going straight into her master's. They look just like me, so I can't deny them. I can't deny them. They're just, when I say just like me, just like me. So I mean, it is what it is. My son, I don't call him. He has the same name as me. I do not call him Shawn. Hard pressed to find somebody that's going to call him Shawn. They're going to call him Deuce, because his name is mine. I went to a doctor's appointment with him one time, and when he was a baby, and they said Shawn Edwards. So I'm looking around, but they're talking about my son. Yeah, I can't. It's crazy hearing my name, and our names are misspelled. Mine is misspelled by mistake. His is misspelled on purpose.
And why is that?
Well, my middle name is Elliot. What happened was, when they did my birth certificate, nobody caught it until 2 years later. They didn't spell it correctly. They spelled it Eloit. So when someone caught it, they said, hey, you know, we need to get this changed. It was like, now it's a legal name change. So they was like, oh, well, you know, leave it like it is. Well, since my son is named after me, we spelled his on purpose. So, and he didn't know. He was like, my name messed up, this and that, until I told him the story. He was like, oh, okay, so he has a unique name.
That's nice. So what would you say the law enforcement side has taught you, like in general, when it comes to parenting? Because sometimes our careers help us grow up before we raise the children, you know, and then for some it may be the children made a major impact.
It actually showed me one thing. I say law enforcement actually showed me was, because my childhood wasn't like, you know, all, you know, cake and roses and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, my father passed when I was 2. My mother never in my life, stuff like that. So, you know, and I always thought my life was just all messed up. I was like, you know, childhood just gone away. And then when I got into law enforcement, and you know, you're interacting with so many people, especially in school resource, and you actually see some of the things, you know, these kids go through, or what the parents have, what's going on. It shows you, no matter how bad you think you're having, even if I think I'm having a bad day, you know, it's like almost immediately, you know, God is send you to a call and you say, no, they're having a bad day, or this child has it bad. You know, so when I'm, you know, so that it helped me deal with it. So it's like, you know, I didn't resent, you know, like my childhood anymore. I was like, you know, trust me, I was good.
See how it could have possibly happened if somebody's mental state wasn't in the right place, or their finances, or they weren't loved growing up, and then you saw it like unfold from an adult's eyes, watching. And another adult who may not be sustainable to raise children, you was actually able to see like, this is an experience that some adults have, unfortunately.
Exactly. So, like I say, it really did wonders, just like to help me deal when I didn't, necessarily want to deal, just lock it up. But it helped me deal with it. And also, brings me closer to my children, things. And sometimes, I don't want to say in a bad way, because I know I responded to a very bad, it was a very bad wreck. My daughter was my daughter was what? Maybe 6 years old. Responded to a bad bus accident, and
she was on the bus.
Well, what happened was that morning I went to. She was a member of Boys and Girls Club after school, and I paid her fee to the guy. And that I was at work that lunch. We got a call about a school bus being an accident. I get there, and it's like total chaos. Kids are running across the street. It's a Boys and Girls Club bus. Boys and Girls Club shirts on the kids, and these small kids running across the street, and blood. It was real gory too. Also with the young kid, I'm walking, I'm seeing legs, I'm seeing this kid. So for me, that day was like my worst day ever in my entire life. So I walk around, because I can truly say. So
some children had got hit.
One kid, they were
thrown out of the vehicle.
She was in the vehicle. People stopped on the road to get her out, and she was lying down there, and I'm seeing a gory sight, but I'm only seeing the legs. And it's a lady, a nurse was out there, had jumped out of the car, was doing CPR, but you can tell that life was gone. But I could truly say in the movie, things stop. Like when I say things will go in slow motion, things went in slow motion, because I kept going. I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm seeing these kids, I paid my money. I'm seeing the guy I paid my money to cross the street. I'm seeing these shirts, Boys and Girls Club, I'm seeing the bus, and none of these kids, I see my kid running across. I'm going, until I got around the lady, and I saw it wasn't my daughter. And I'm not going to say I'm happy because someone lost their loved one, but I will say this, for years after that, my daughter never rode a bus to go on a field trip. If she had to go on a field trip, someone would take off of work, or she would have an older cousin that would actually drive her. They would drive behind the bus. She would not. I would not let her ride a bus.
Yeah, that stuck with you for some time.
Oh yeah, that stuck with me forever, and nobody never challenged me on it because that day was a bad day.
How have you gotten through that process, and what are some of the mental health things that have assisted you, and that whether you're in the military or whether you're in law enforcement, like just what are some things that you just think absolutely you have to do this to help your mental state?
Well, I would say that's where the military kicks in, because in the military it's like you're groomed to, I guess, suck it up. You don't dwell on things. You have to be a problem solver quick, because you don't have time to sit here and, okay, it happened. What we gonna do? You got to make it happen. Let's go. And then it's kind of like, and it's not a good thing, but you have to be that, especially the Marine Corps. You got to be that big bad Marine. You have to be. You're expected to be. You're expected to be this super soldier almost, and never show weakness. So it's kind of like you got that box back there. You lock a lot of stuff away. Probably stuff back there that you need to deal with that you don't realize that you need to deal with it, because you're so. You're just so groomed to, okay, toss that back there, let's go, and don't even worry about it. So I guess that's where the military just kicked in. I just know how to deal with stuff.
That's good. I know for those who may be listening, you're like, yeah, give us more. We just want to continue to listen. But I try to keep these conversations tight. And if there is a chance for us to do a part 2, we'll do that. But before we close, for those who may be interested in the military or becoming an officer, a deputy, specifically if you want to join the sheriff's office, words of encouragement, words of advice?
I would say, one, of course, keep your nose clean, because things you're doing when you're young, they may end up following you. If you have no direction, This is an awesome career for as law enforcement to get into. For me, my path was the military because I was one of those kids that needed that discipline. I needed that guidance to get me prepared for this. Your grades, not everybody's built for college. A lot of people push college, but a lot of people are not built for it. You may need to go to trade school, go to the military. You're going to learn skills there that you can bring out here. You don't have to pay for it. It's free. You're going to get certifications and stuff out there that cost thousands of dollars in the civilian world. Go there. You can even go into law enforcement in the military, come out. Guess what? Now you're at the top of the list when we're looking. One, you're military. Two, you've done law enforcement while you're in the military. So you're top. This is what we're looking for. So I encourage, any person out there, if you don't have any direction, it's a good place to start thinking, especially the military. It's going to get you right and you can come out here and, hey, we need good law enforcement officers.
Good. All right. So this is the part that I leave out because it's a surprise. And so at the very end of the podcast, we do something called the speed round. And so basically I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and you just shoot out the first answer that comes to your mind. All right?
Hey, you know who I am now. We done met now. Come on now.
Okay, good. Iron sights or optics?
Iron sights for me always.
Slow fire or rapid fire?
Slow fire.
Training day or competition day?
Training day.
Cardio or strength?
Strength.
Day shift or night shift?
Day shift.
Traffic stop or warrant service?
Warrant service.
Foot pursuit or vehicle pursuit?
Foot pursuit.
Rookie years or leadership years?
Leadership years.
Coffee or energy drink?
Coffee.
Brotherhood or mentorship?
Mentorship.
PT at sunrise or PT at sunset?
PT at sunrise.
Field chow or hot chow?
Field chow.
MREs or chow hall?
MREs.
Early wake up or late night watch?
Early wake up.
East Coast or West Coast duty stations?
West Coast.
Okay. Well, that concludes our speed round. Thank you all for listening, and thank you so much, Sergeant Edwards, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Working together to make Leon County safer. All in